Hey, so today I'm going to tell you about how I started making necklaces and also selling them. By the way, my name is Andy and I'm so happy that you decided to join. I first started making necklaces around 2010. I was in high school, and that summer my family and I went on vacation to New England, and we were in, I believe it was uh, New Hampshire, and we were in this small town. Uh, we went to a little art fair, arts and crafts fair in the town, and there was a lady selling these necklaces made out of trellis yarn, and my mom thought they were pretty and bought several. So later on, I don't know, I don't remember how many months in the future this was, but my mom really liked the necklaces, and um, eventually I think she bought some yarn, uh, and then my dad, who used to be a tailor, he um, figured out a way to make them. So he started, and I was helping, and it in my case, since I have my disability, I wasn't able to work um, a normal job in high school or any job like some young people do, but I had to find what I could do. So this was something I was able to do, and my dad and I would work together um, making the necklaces because it uh, required two people. So we did that, and eventually I started selling them. When I would go to the doctor or somewhere to the dentist, my mom would wear the necklaces, and women would comment on them. Ladies would comment and say, "Hey, nice necklace," and my mom would say, "Oh, thank you." Uh, my son makes them, and then eventually we'd get to where we would uh, go back to, let's say, the dentist at lunchtime or at the end of the day, and show the staff the necklaces, and then the ladies would buy them. And I sold a lot of necklaces then. That way, I also was in several art fairs. By the way, if you want to find out about some tips I gave on art fairs and how to present at them, I have a video I did about that. But the necklaces sold very well, and this was around 2010, 2011. Um, I did art fairs. Sometime around here, I started selling on Etsy. Etsy was relatively new then. Um, I also have a video about Etsy. Um, and it really got going, especially, and I guess obviously towards the latter half of the year, um, approaching Christmas, they sold in a large amounts. And what I found was thinking about you have to figure out or find uh, who buys your stuff, your items, your product. And I discovered that older, or let's say mature women, maybe of 40s, 50s, 60s, really liked the necklaces and uh, would buy them. I had this one lady, I think she lived in Oregon or Washington State. She bought like dozens, maybe, um, a lot of necklaces. But this lady was so nice, she even sent me a scarf that she knitted for me and my mom. But there were people that found me on Etsy, bought the necklaces, and became very uh, loyal in that way. And um, this was on Etsy when it was before ads on Etsy. It was uh, before all the clutter that's now on Etsy. So it was a great place to sell. Um, that towards 2013 or so, around and then, um, I was kind of tired of it. I stopped selling on Etsy. Maybe this was more in 2014. I was still selling at art fairs, I know that. But I gradually stopped selling necklaces on Etsy and eventually stopped doing art fairs and also stopped selling necklaces anywhere. And I still sell some. I have right down by the camera, I have a big box of yarn because there's all different kinds of colors of yarn. I've done some with the same trellis yarn, knitting it or crocheting it on my fingers, and those have sold in small amounts in the past. I haven't done them in many years, but for the ones that you see I've done are have been very popular. Right now, not so much. People still buy them, I'll tell you that. But they, at least Etsy, I'm getting sales on Etsy for these necklaces. It isn't what it was before. Now, with that being said, I have them uh, displayed at my local art gallery store community center type place, and I sell them. That's one one thing that sells is the necklaces. In the past, I had them at numerous stores. I had this one. There were these two ladies that had a store in a town near where I live, and they sold hundreds of my necklaces and many necklaces, and getting them in the stores is always a good idea. Sometimes you find somewhere that likes or that is perfect for your item, whether it be necklaces or jewelry, stickers, pottery, whatnot, and you'll really hit it off. Other places will sell a few, others will reject you. Recently, I've been trying to get them in some other stores, haven't had any success, not sure why. But I've enjoyed making the necklaces. Obviously, in my case, I don't wear them, but they are something that has made me a small business, and I'm still working at ways to uh, sell more of them. One thing I found with selling them on Etsy is having very good photographs. I used to have a friend, a mentor that uh, helped me take the pictures of the necklaces. He was a former photographer for a magazine, and he taught me many things. And since he had a good camera, he would take the pictures with and for me um, back before I had a camera. Nowadays, I take the pictures myself. Um, One thing I have found that helps is having a model. I've used my wife, I've used my mom, one of my art students as well to model the necklaces. So yeah, that's my little story about selling necklaces. Don't want to ramble on too much, but hope you have a good day. Take care. See you later.